What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of My Ego Up Fantasy. Today we are looking at ESL Challenger Valencia 2022. I figured I should always show this part first, just because you get to see the prizes here. Pretty cool prizes. We have, this is the prizes again. And then, of course, the rules, because I always check out the rules before I go into these events, because there's always some small adjustments between events, which I think is good because tournaments vary quite a lot. But for this event, for example, 2 cells and no white periods, pretty standard event. Makes sense because it's just three days long as well. Pretty much everything is as usual apart from that. I guess I should talk over each group. Just 2 groups of 4 going into single elimination playoffs, the most basic format that pretty much exists. And there's some clear favorites and clear underdogs here. In Group A, you should see Fury and Outsiders get out of the group. And Sprout have an outside chance of beating either of these teams, I think. I don't think Double O Nation really can do anything. I also think Double O Nation, have they announced their 5th player yet? No, they have pretty much no lineup right now for this matchup, which is interesting. They're gonna be playing Outsiders. I want to see if maybe if I go on the match page. No, it's still to be announced who's gonna be playing for them in a tournament starting tomorrow. Alongside Coldzera and Try. The rumors are that Taco's gonna play here, I believe, but we'll see. But I don't know who I should pick between Fury and Outsiders. Fury looked pretty weak in Rubit Cup. Of course, that was online. But still, they lost to 9Z twice, which is not to the caliber I would expect of Furia. But let's look at Outsiders' recent results. Furia losing to Furia in the latest game is not a good look if we want to think about who's gonna come out on top, and it was pretty convincing. So most likely you should just go with Furia, even though they're probably the most picked team. If you wanna go for a bit of a surprise, go Outsiders. Then we have MIBR, Movistar should be the favorites here. I would say Movistar probably just because of home crowd advantage as well. And they have done at least a little bit better than they used to in. Like, they had this real long bad slump where they barely won anything. Now in ESL Challenger League, at least got 3rd. They're lost to OneWin, who are not really the greatest team. They beat like Entropic and Sprout, teams that are pretty decent. Whereas MIBR usually does only well against like the lower tier and then really struggles against the higher tier. They play a lot, of course, against like Brazilian and American opposition. And I mean, losing to a team like Strife, even though it's like a month ago, it's not the most convincing team, but I still think they should make it out of this group ahead of Hammer or Rare Atomic. For me, oh yeah, we should talk about this, of course. But yeah, I would probably say Movistar over MIBR and then Furia over Outsiders is the most likely outcome going into the playoffs. It's an interesting schedule for the matches. So of course, first matches are best of 1, and both the winners matches are also best of 1, and after that everything is best of 3. Group B kind of just plays 1 game more on the first day, and then Group A plays 1 more game on Saturday. So if I want to have a lot of points from the first day, I guess you should pick like elimination. You're never really gonna pick the teams that go into the elimination match on paper. But what is interesting is that the teams that win the winners matches, so go 2-0 in the groups, don't even play on Saturday, and they jump straight to the semifinals on Sunday. So it becomes a matter of if you want to have points from Saturday, you kind of want to do substitutions for Saturday. I'm not sure how point padding actually works in this case because of here is where these points are given out during the 4th and 5th matches. So I'm not sure how the point padding works out here, but either way, I should be picking for round 1, I would say, from Furia, Outsiders, and Movistar. I would go for those 3 teams for my initial lineup. And then I might make some sells after that. After like day 1 even, if it looks like I need to. Or I might just do them after Saturday going into the finals. Maybe just bet on one team and use both of my sells. Use both of my sells in a way where I have players from one team. What I didn't actually think about is should I have one permanently benched player, so I don't get to have everyone play here. I think one permanently benched player is actually good. They're like shorter the event is. Jaime is 143 grand. That's surprising to say the least. But I think, yeah, David G on the bench. We can just have you here as a permanently benched player. Or might even come in eventually, but probably permanently benched. Which should make the most sense, I would think. Yeah. Yuri's been having a really good time lately. Movistar players are pretty cheap, so I think I just go for Sampayus. Then double Furia. I mean, having David G on the bench, if I think Movistar are gonna do well, should I just have another cheap player on the bench, like whoever this is, and then rather have 2 Movistar players in the active lineup? That's probably better. Who could we go from Movistar? So Alex is probably the 2nd best player. Player prices are pretty cheap for the most part, apart from like Yuri. Because there's a lot of these players who I don't think are gonna do as well as their price suggests. I guess like 170. Yeah, and now we have like outsiders we can get. Kiekert or whoever. Like, to that extent, it might be better to have... Wait, how expensive was Jaime? Jaime is this cheap. Maybe I should have Jaime. When was... So, Group A decider is played here, so at least I would have players for Saturday if I have... Yeah, that makes actually quite a good amount of sense. So a couple... Wait, is it Outsider Sprout or Outsiders Double O Nation? Which is... It's a Double O Nation. But I should have... because Group A is a bit more volatile, I would say there's more upset potential with Sprout than there is with Hummers or Rare Atomic. So let's say Sprout beats Furia. Just upsets Furia. I'll still have Furia play on Saturday, both of the games. So that actually makes sense. It makes sense to pick a bit more from Group A. Even though it's more volatile. 163. We can get Norbert for that. That's actually very good. Norbert's been kind of in form. I don't understand how Jaime is this inexpensive. Should I have Jaime on the pitch rather than someone else? I don't think so. I think this makes the most sense still. Like, Why is James so inexpensive? He still has good stats, right? Let's go last month. Like 111 still is very decent. 107. I don't understand why his price is this low. Like, I don't know how they calculate prices over at Ego, but I'm not sure why he's this inexpensive. I'm trying to think of anything I could do better than this. This looks so good to me because we have like the most expensive players from Movistar and Furia, who I think are like the #1 favorites, and then we have 2 really good players from outsiders. The only thing I'm thinking of is, should I have like James in instead of Alex, for example, for day 1? Because, but outsiders do play against Furia. Movistar should have an easier time. I'll just go with this. And captain should be Yuri, for sure, right? I should join leagues. Where's the featured leagues? There's no featured leagues, I guess. At least for this one. But yeah, I think that's it for this. I can show you how I did in previous fantasy in Rubet. I mean, I went for like ENS and Cloud9. Once ENS got eliminated, I bought like Hobbit, I think, instead of Spinks. And then he didn't do that well either. Of course, lineup is now unlocked, but I've already used both of my soils. We are in like, which place? 17th place. It's okay. I was actually first in this league at one stage, but yeah, I didn't go my way with just Cloud9 and ENS kind of shitting the bed. It's gonna be a FaZe clan. Well, I wouldn't say shitting the bed, at least in terms of with FaZe and ENS. Like, yeah, if FaZe have a good day, even if it's online, of course they are still ranked 1 team in the world. Should beat ENS more often than ENS beat them, but I wanted to take the risk. I think there's a good upset potential. And then Cloud9 should have always done well here, but I guess Big are a team that can really perform, especially online. We should captain Searson going into the final. I guess why not? Doesn't really matter, but there's nothing I can really change about it now. Yeah, that's how I did in this event. But yeah, I'll make a Cologne video before that event starts, and I'll still make an HLTV video after this one for HLTV Fantasy, so stay tuned for that. Either way, if you enjoy this kind of content, remember to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.